last month, I should say, we had some serious conversation about cancer. And we also talked about some of the screenings that you do. I wanted to bring you back to also have conversation more about some of the services that are going on with the institution around cancer prevention, cancer care, and also cancer research. So, can you give us an overview, Deb, of what's been going on?
Sure, sure. We have been really trying to make sure that we are in the community and listening to the community. The way that my office approaches and the cancer center approaches working in the community, people always talk about, well, I'm trying to work to gain their trust, gain their trust. But this position that we're taking is that we need to be there so that we show that we are worthy of the trust of the community. And so by being there, we're being present. We've been at several of the different churches in the community. We had a colorectal during last month,
Hmm.
urban ministry, working with the urban ministry group and 40 different churches. We were able to do a luncheon, yeah, it was lunch, over at Calvary, about colorectal cancer and get people out to know a little bit more about that, answer some questions with that. We also, this weekend, will be over at um, Christ the King, working with their men's ministry, talking about prostate cancer. It will feature one of our prostate cancer survivors, our health griot, Mr. Eddie Brooks, and he has been trained about talking about his story.
Hmm.
And so, if we have people out in the community, I mean, I can go and talk about prostate cancer, but I don't have a prostate
That's
and
right.
I'm not a survivor. And so it's more important that you see someone who has been diagnosed and who is living well because of after the diagnosis. So doing health education in the community is a big part of what we are doing, and being present is the philosophy of medical college as a whole, being there to support and being there to listen and look and collaborate with existing assets in the community.
Deb, one thing that was really interesting to me last time when we started having discussion about cancer and we had call-ins with people, the screening and also the issue about getting involved, your community, our community, your church, these different organizations. How can people, if they say, like, Deb Nevels, I would like to have something at my church, or we're having this health fair,
Mhm.
kind of talk about some of the things that you all are able to do to get more involved in those congregations and to those organizations within the community.
Definitely. You can definitely give a call to our office. My direct number, 414-955-2364. If you belong to any type of organization, we are more than willing to come out and do presentations, collaborate with you on any health fairs that you're planning. One of the things that we like to do is not necessarily to bring a table and just pass out education materials. I tell people all the time, I'm so blessed to work on a campus where I can look in any direction and get someone to speak about any health topic, whether it be about mental health or whether it be about cancer, diabetes that we were talking about earlier, including, which you'll touch on with our other guests, programming for youth that's going on our campus. We can bring that there to you. So it may not even be me that comes there. I like to think of myself as more of a convener. Um, those who know Reuben Harpo, he is notorious for this. I bring people together and then you move out the way. And so I like to be able to connect people. And so yes, of course, I want cancer prevention in our community. I want people to get their screenings and have access to that care. But I also want to help promote individuals knowing more about what's offered through the medical college and Freighter, and then also to get other doctors, other people in the community, so they can also hear those same voices that I hear.
Now, you mentioned screenings, and I know that you're able to do some of those things when you go
Mhm.
into the community. Can you just kind of talk more about some of these screenings, Deb?
Definitely. I have some phenomenal partners in Nurses Affecting Change. I was first connected with them through one of my mentors with the Black Nurses Association, Dr. Sandra Underwood, who connected me to Bonnie Anderson, who has a cadre of nurses who come out into the community to teach women about self breast exams. And it's not like the breast exam that you get at the doctor. You go in and they teach you how to do the exam yourself. And so I can bring them out to do those exams. And then we also have an incredible partner with Wisconsin Diagnostic Laboratories who will come out and do prostate screening. So those are the two that we are working with. In the community, we also support Erica Sinclair with Health Connections. Love to collaborate with her because she brings so much of the primary care, such as vaccines and other prevention tools. So it is not just cancer screenings, which we can do. In the cancer screenings, all I need is a small room and some tables. All I
Wow.
need. Yep. All I need is like for the blood draws, I just need like an office. And for the breast exams, a classroom would work. But those nurses, and the critical part of their work, it's not just teaching you about how to do the exam, but then when you come out, they check to see, are you due for a mammogram? Are you connected to a primary care provider? And they follow up. So they have a community health worker that also comes and works with them whenever they do screenings, and they navigate you to care afterwards. And there is a gift card that you get for getting the exam. And then once you get your mammogram, you have a voucher that you get signed off. And then that voucher, then you send it back in and you get another gift card once you complete your mammogram. Nurses Affecting Change does this not only in partnership with us, but they travel around the city almost every weekend. There can be found at one of the housing developments or at any of our churches. So
Wow. So people can you give them that number again, and don't do it so fast because people were getting on my
they
case
were getting
last
on here,
time
and I did
about
the
us
same
throwing
thing.
out those numbers so fast.
Yes,
So if you
yes.
could just give people the number as far as,
Mhm.
and I want to encourage people, not only, what Deb was talking about related to bringing in those cancer screenings, but we also, at the All of Us Research Program, we can come into your church, into your organization, and we can set up our team to help you enroll into our program and also to collect the biosamples with our clinicians as well. So, Deb, can you give them the information as far
Yes.
as how they can reach you
Yep.
and how people? And so, I want to encourage those listeners to really start talking to their pastors, talking to
Please.
the leaders in your congregations to say, we would like to have the Medical College of Wisconsin staff come in to do some cancer screening, to come in to do the All of Us research program. So, Deb, can you give them your number, please?
Sure. And I will go slow. 414 955 2364. That's 955 2364. And not only your pastors, because all of us here work with the churches, but there's other groups that you may be part of, whether it's sororities or fraternities, any type of one of the things I have one of my friends, Jazzy Ray, who's having her Divas brunch in August. Her I'm plugging everybody.
Oh, that's
But
good.
we're doing
Yeah.
breast exams there. We will be
Okay.
doing it we did it last year. Nurses Affecting Change came out. But her husband is the head of a bikers group, and we want to work with them around prostate cancer. So anytime you have a group of people gathering, and you have a question about health, no matter what it is, especially if it's cancer, I can help you. But if it isn't cancer, I will find somebody who can help.
And that's really interesting because the weather is going to start getting
Yep.
nicer and people start having these family reunions and gatherings.
Mhm.
I mean, that would be a great opportunity as well, right, Deb?
Yeah, with family reunions, we can provide you with education materials that you can pass out, shower cards for the women to pass out. We have what we call health passports for both men and women to keep track of your vaccinations and your exams, and just being able to have the conversation. We are always also looking to train volunteers who also want to bring the message out to their community. But one of the things too is if you know of survivors or co-survivors, we have a caregiver retreat that's coming up on June 1st. And that's going to be held at Mount Mary. You can use that same number to call me and I can get the information to you. But we want to pamper our caregivers.
Where's Mount Mary? Where is that location? Can you give us a rough idea?
Really? Did you really just do that
I
to me?
just did
It's
that. Yes.
91st and Burleigh.
Okay, 91st and Burleigh. Okay.
near 91st and
Yeah,
Burleigh.
so I just want to
Yes.
know
Yep.
that area. So if
Mhm.
it's somewhere around there, so people have
Mhm.
an idea, Deb. I didn't
Mhm.
try to put you on the
Yes, you
spot
did.
there.
That's
No,
okay.
I
I
did.
still love you. It's
Uh,
okay.
but I think it's really important because I want people to really see that we are all over the community. We are not just in one place. The Medical College of Wisconsin believes in integration of getting into the community to bring it to you. And that's what I wanted to really, say
Mhm.
like this is
Mhm.
the area here because we're going to also have our other guests. They're going to be talking about the areas as far as some of the things that they're involved with. And so, Deb, I just want you to give that number one more time, and then you're going to stay around because you
I'm
still have
staying
some more
around. Yep.
conversation because we're going to be sitting at the table with our guests. So, Deb, you want to give that number one more time?
Sure. That number is 414-955-2364.
Thank you, Deb. And around the table, I have some more guests, and I'm really excited about saying good morning to you all. We have Exie Walker. She is with the Clinical Transitional Science Institute, and she is actually a coordinator for this program. And she's going to be talking about some of the things that she's doing in the community. And then also, we have Bishop Young. And I wanted to say welcome to you as well. But you work also with the Clinical Transitional Science Institute at the Medical College of Wisconsin. And you all are doing some wonderful things. And I'm just going to kind of let the community know what is it, and we call it CTSI. And the mission to this program and to the mission, I would say, to this whole entity, because it is very large within the medical college. And it is really the mission is to make the best medicine better and to get more treatments to more people more quicker. And I saw that and I was like, this is exactly what you all are doing. So I'm going to ask if you all can just give us an overview of some of the work that you're doing with Dr. Doriel Ward. She has really been very, very involved in the community and also working on different grants to bring in more resources for our community. And so I'm going to ask if you all can start speaking to that. And Essie, I'm going to ask if you could start.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Okay, I would like to start off with our community care initiative. So, part of our community care initiative, we have a community care unit that we have partnered with Wisconsin Northwest Jurisdiction of Churches. It is located off of 40th and Center Street. And at that community care unit, we offer screenings. One of the screenings is for cardiovascular, where we'll screen for hypertension and atrial fibrillation. And for each screening, you'll get $25.
So can you we know about the high blood pressure, but can you kind of give us a little bit more information about the other tests that you just mentioned?
The hypertension,
No, the other one, the
atrial
atrial.
fibrillation.
Yes.
Yes, that's in the same screening day. So they'll screen you for both in the same day.
So what are people like when you're screening them? What exactly is it? Because I want the community to know,
Oh,
like,
it's just
what
a
are you
little
doing?
it's just a little device. It's non-intrusive. So basically you come in, they'll ask you some questions about your nutrition,
Mhm.
your maybe some medical history, some things like that. And then they'll actually give you a little, it's like a little EKG. It's like it's non-invasive. And so they test you on that to see where your numbers are, and they let you know right away.
So they kind of hook you up to something to get that test, or how do they
No,
get
you're
it?
not hooked up. It's just a little handheld device.
Okay, so you
Yes.
hold this device,
Yes.
and then they are able to screen and see exactly what's going on with you.
Yes,
See, I
absolutely.
want people to know that it's not so complicated to get screened. That's where
Yes,
I'm going with
yes,
this.
yes,
Because I think that people are always so fearful, like you're gonna just stick me, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And now a lot of times people, are hesitant about going in to get screening. So go right ahead.
Okay. And then also last year, we started screening for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And again, that's just a handheld device where the doctor comes in and he just scans your liver. It takes about 10-15 minutes, and he'll let you know your status right away. If you have 0 signs of fatty liver disease, or if you have stage 1, which is mild, stage 2, which is more medium, or stage 3, which is more severe. And the goal is for you to know so that you can start making changes to reverse it.
Okay. And we were talking about that earlier with Dr. Izzard related to diabetes. And so this screening is very important for us because a lot of times it's gone unknown. we don't even know that we have fatty liver. And so how can you do something about it if you don't know? And I always say knowledge is power. And I know Deb and I have always said that on our conversations, that when we get out in the community, we want to make sure that we let our people, our community know that the more you know, the better you're able to then do something about it. And is there a cost for this screening?
It is no cost. It is free to the community. And then we'll also offer you a $25 gift card for coming in to get screened.
And how often? And this is actually connected, like right next to a church. Am I correct on that?
Yes,
Can you
yes.
elaborate a little bit about that?
It's a single family home, all brick single family home right next door to the church, and they converted it to look more like a screening. I won't say a clinic. It's not really a clinic. So we want to make it kind of like family friendly. So there are screening rooms. So then when you come in, you just feel like you're at home.
Yeah, I've actually been to that facility, and it is very warming. That was one of the projects with Dr. Ward that she wanted to bring into the community. And so that was really about a couple of years ago or so that you all have been there. And how often are you there for people to do this work?
Right now, we're there once a month doing the cardiovascular screenings, and we're scheduled to start doing fatty liver screenings in April, towards the end of April or early May.
So if people are interested, because this is free, and then also when people come, they also get a $25 gift card too.
Yes.
So that at least will pay for some of the gas, because gas is kind of high now. So at least we
Yes.
compensate you for some of that. So can you give us the phone number for people that are interested in coming to get the screenings?
Absolutely. If you are interested in coming in for screening, I will give out my work number so that we can get you connected to the right clinicians. The phone number is 414 955 4872.
Okay. Can you say that one more time?
One more time, it's 414 955 4872.
And this is for people to get screening on what exactly, Exie?
You can come in to get screening on cardiovascular, which is the hypertension, and we say AFib, which is atrial fibrillation, or you can come in for screening for the fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Okay. When you say non-alcoholic, explain.
Because a lot of people think, I thought myself, that you could only get fatty liver disease from drinking alcohol, but that's not the case. Fatty liver can develop in your body from eating bad foods. It's our diet.
Yeah, the foods that we like, right? You said bad foods, but it's the foods that you
uh-huh.
like that you shouldn't eat, right? Like the chips,
sugar, yes,
all the
yes.
things that Dr. Izard was talking about earlier. That's something that we need to work on, but that's really helpful. So I really appreciate that. And what was that again?
It's located off of 40th and Center.
It's right by the Word of Hope Church.
Word of Hope
Word of Hope Church.
is right next door to Holy Cathedral. Yes. Word of Hope is the single family home right next door. I think it's like 2663 North 40th Street.
Okay, so that kind of lets people know it's right there on Center, right? Isn't
yes,
it? It's like
yes.
right, the church is right on Center, and
It's
then
right
you
on
go
Center,
next
yes.
door to it is where that facility is. And people would need to call in order to schedule a time to come in. They just can't
correct.
just automatically walk in because there's certain times. Now you mentioned you're there once a month. Do you know when the next visit you're going to be there yet? Or are you still
Our-
scheduling that?
Our next screening event for April is Saturday, April 27th, between 8 and 12 o'clock.
Between 8 and 12, and they can do both screenings at that same time?
No, for that one, that's just cardiovascular that day. We're still planning a date for fatty liver. But
Okay.
you can still contact me and I can put your name on the list. So when we have a date, we'll let you know.
And these are free screenings. And so I want people to be aware, because a lot of times you have vacancies that people don't really know about. And so I wanted to make sure that we bring you on the air so that way people will understand and know that these screenings are available to you free. And so we want to thank you for that. And there's some other things that you are doing also. And is that correct? Is that correct, Essie?
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
We want to talk about the other programs, the child
Yeah.
advancement. Okay, so we also have like the Child Advancement Network, which is where we focus on children ages 0 to 5 about brain development. Brain development begins when the mom is still pregnant. So that could be reading to your stomach while you're pregnant. And then once you deliver the child, then again, further reading, talking with your child, not the goo goo gaga, speech, but actually talking about colors, bubbles, and in the bath water and things so forth. So that's our goal, to educate the moms, the community, grandparents, so forth, about child brain development. And then we also have the 500 Stars Initiative, which is we're targeting, we'll say 16 and up. We're targeting youth to introduce them to the Translational Science Institute or the medical college and so forth. So with that program, it's a 6 to 8 week summer internship
Okay.
where they'll be with a mentor, and at the end of the summer, they'll receive a $1,500 stipend for
Okay.
their participation.
Wow. So if people are interested in that, is there a number?
Absolutely. The
You know, I
phone
always like to get people connected because when you hear these resources, you want to make sure that you can get connected. So go ahead with the number.
Yes. We also have a website if you want to look, at it into it further. The website is ctsi.mcw.edu. And then the phone number again is our work number is 414-955-4872.
Okay. And, I have Micaiah Young and then Bishop Young with us also. He's the program manager at the Clinical and Transitional Science Institute. Good morning.
Good morning.
I would just like to hear from you because, one thing with our programs at the Medical College of Wisconsin, with Deb Neville's program, with the All of Us Research program, and also with your programs, we are always wanting to get involved with churches because we know that that's really a strong foundation in our communities, our churches. And so I was excited to know that you were on board with CTSI. And so, can you give us a little overview about some of the things that you are doing and the involvement as far as with the community and also with the churches?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks so much for allowing us to be here. And I got to give a special shout out to Dr. Doria Ward, who we are representing. She's the executive director. And it's her heart really to really get to the grassroots, to get into the community. And how better do you do that than to really work with the organizations that have been really feeding the community, have been the hub in the community. And I think that the churches historically have been the center of education, the center of gathering. It's been the primary place that people gather in the community. And so what we have been doing is working through churches and of course other organizations to get information to people about health and about matters that really impact not just individuals but communities. Everything that Exie talked about, and she is just a wealth of knowledge. Everything she talked about, those services cannot be taken advantage of if people don't know that they need it. There's this idea that what you don't know can't hurt you. But the truth of the matter is that what you don't know can kill you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And
Yes.
even
yes.
scripture tells us that people perish for what? A lack of knowledge. And so if you don't know better, you won't do better. So we've been having community forums, health forums, where health professionals come into the community and educate people about matters such as hypertension, diabetes, things that we just heard Dr. Izzard talk about, and fatty liver. Who knew that you could have issues with your liver if you don't drink alcohol? Or who knew that from eating certain foods and having excess fat in your body, that it is looking for somewhere to go and it can lodge in your liver and cause fatty liver disease. When we bring these forums to the community, people are educated and they're enlightened, and then they have the responsibility of doing something about what they know.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do it together, then I think that the overall health of the community is improved. We have not just community health forums, but we have science cafes. And these science cafes, I believe, actually they meet like twice every month.
That's
And
great.
some of them are in person, and some are also virtual, which people can, of course, join from anywhere. But the information is phenomenal. There was a community forum that we had recently dealing with oral hygiene and dental health. Who knew that your oral health is connected to hypertension and diabetes? And we left there, and so many individuals were enlightened and really began to be proactive with taking their dental health to another level, making those appointments. But then the next thing is, you can't just give people information, because information without resources to do something about it, causes the problem to continue to exist. So we fuse information with resources, which is what's happening with the community care unit. People are able to learn about things that are important to their health, and then they're able to do something about it, because the community care unit is in the area where the underserved population can have easy access to it.
I love that, because that's one thing about Dr. Doria Ward, is that she believes in providing information and
Yes,
educating the
sure.
community, because she also believes that if we know something about it, most likely we're going to do something about it, right?
Absolutely.
And so knowledge is power, and that's something that we've been talking about throughout. We know that we work with a educational institution, and so obviously we believe in educating. As far as our organization, our institution, I should say, we've been able to get more involved in the community. And that's something that I know Deb Nevels is going to talk a little bit more about in the next in about another 15 minutes or so. But I wanted to stay focused as far as some of the things that you all have been doing at the clinical to CTSI, and that's Clinical Technology Science Institute. And I always call it CTSI because that's what our acronym is, and that's what we say all the time. But I know the community wants to know, like, what is more involved with that. I was just talking with Dr. Ward yesterday, and she was just talking about these ensembles that were going on, that were just awarded to, will be awarded to some of the communities to have more conversation. And when we come back, I want to just ask you a little bit more about that. But right now, I just wanted to mention that this is Karen Dodson at the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin, and you're listening to WNOV 860 AM, and we're at the table today, and we're doing some serious conversation. And if you have questions, feel free to call us at 414-444-5250. That's 414-444-5250. We'll be back. Thank you.
Call 414-763-3474 and visit Select Auto Parts at 2500 West Cornell Street.
Bacchus Insurance Group, along with Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing Incorporated, would like to present Mindful Mondays, a dynamic monthly gathering and wine tasting event designed to empower aspiring business owners and professionals to forge new paths in emerging industries. Join us April 8th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. to learn more about the podcast industry. Located at Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing at 4233 West Fond du Lac Avenue. For tickets, go to greenwoodparkgallery.com or call 414-444-5166.
The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program end of the season is approaching. Don't miss out on benefits and help with your WE energy bill. Just go to keepwarmmke.org. It's made it easy for you to schedule an appointment. You may also call 414-270-4653. Don't delay. Call us today. Again, that's 414-270-4653. Or visit us online at keepwarmmke.org. This is administered by the State of Wisconsin Home Energy Plus program.
Milwaukee. Hello, Milwaukee. Can you tell me why did
Miss Stacey Abrams?
This is she. I am very excited to be talking to you.
Mr. Trey Baker.
First and foremost, I'd say it's a personal thing. Quit tripping. Go vote.
Mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
I am with you. Good morning.
choose WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM to talk to you? They knew that WNOV is the voice of the Milwaukee community. But did you also know that
Harold Mosley.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
The Honorable Congressman G.K. Butterfield.
WNOV, thank you for your sensitivity and your willingness to educate our community.
Donna Brazile
wanted to get their message to you, and they knew WNOV was the only station to use to get to the Milwaukee community.
Political parties are vehicles. You can choose to drive them or you can choose to walk. But you better not get on the road and don't know where you're going. We're not asking anybody to get away from the table. Just give me a chair so I can sit.
So what are you waiting for?
Milwaukee. Guess who's back? It's your man, Kevin Buchanan. Inviting you to join me each and every Friday night for the Friday Night Jukebox Party from 9 p.m. till midnight. I'll hit you with a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and of course, some of this. Each and every Friday night, it's the Friday Night Jukebox Party. From 9 p.m. to midnight, join yours truly, Kevin Buchanan, exclusively right here on 860 AM and 106.5 FM. WNOV, The Voice. WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
I want to welcome back everybody to the All of Us Research Program. And we're sitting at the table today, and I really have some interesting people sitting here today, people that are very knowledgeable about and committed to the work that they're doing in the community. I have Deb Nevels here. She's the program director at the Cancer Prevention at the Medical College of Wisconsin. I also have Micaiah Young. He is the program manager at the Clinical and Transitional Science Institute, along with Exie Walker, the program coordinator. And we were just talking about different screenings. And for people that are just joining us, we were talking about different screenings, your health screenings, and some of the opportunities that you can get free, how you can also request information and request individuals and a team of folks to come and do some services at your sorority events, at your church events, at your family gatherings, where you know there's going to be multiple people there. And I always tell people, especially when I'm looking at the All of Us Research Program, isn't it great? And don't you want to know more information about your DNA, more of your ancestry information, and you can get that information free from us. And you can get that by calling us at 414-955-2689. That's the All of Us Research Program, or you can go to joinallofus.org to get that information. But I wanted to bring back Essie and also Micaiah to really talk a little bit more about, there's something that the CTSI, the Clinical and Transitional Science Institute, and I want people to get that acronym because you're going to hear us talk about it. But there was something that was very special that happened within the last week or so. And this is something that CTSI is doing for the first time, and they're having the first community-driven, community-focused ensemble award. And those are going to be awarded to a total of how many institutions are going to be receiving those, or organizations, I should say?
Well, there are 5 ensembles that really it is, they're born out of unmet needs, health needs, and they're problem identifying ensembles. And so of these 5 ensembles, I think, and Exie can help me out, there's one that has to do with cardiovascular, obesity, and weight management. There is one ensemble that has to do with child mental health. There's another that has to do with oral hygiene or oral health. And there's another that has to do with women's health, and that is incontinence. Did I reach all of them?
Women's health. Yes, that's
Okay.
that's all 4. And then the 5th one is going to be the one with partnering with Dia Wright.
Correct.
Okay.
That has to do with literacy, which is super important. So they will be, these awards will be in 5 different areas. We're not exactly sure, it is new, where they will be housed, but we do know that the overarching goal is to meet needs that have been unmet in certain areas and improve the overall healthcare with equity for all people in Southeast Wisconsin.
I think that's wonderful because what I love about this is that this is community driven.
Sure.
And so, we're seeking information from the community. So there's going to be more to come.
Yes.
And so this is just the beginning of this process. And I wanted to introduce that to the community because you're going to start seeing information about this.
Absolutely.
And then when you start seeing information about this, you will know then what exactly and how you can be involved in this process. Because, when you start looking at oral health, the dental problems we talked about the cardiovascular disease, the pediatrics, working with the youth, and also the women's health. And that's going to be stuff, similar to like urine health related. I can't say that right now. Urinary. Thank you. Talking too much. But health issues. And so, those are things that, we've had problems and challenges with, sometimes like having control or the leaking of the urine. There's going to be those conversations that we're going to have related to this. And so these are up and coming different kinds of services that will start being in the community to find a solution, to look at strategies that are going to help our community, help our people.
Sure.
Did you have anything else to say
and
about
one of the
that?
things I think that is really important to mention about this is what makes it an ensemble is that it is a collaborative effort. It is not just medical professionals or science telling the community what they need to hear or what they need to know, but it is the community participating as well in their health. So you have researchers, you have health professionals, and then you have patients, and then you have community members that work together to find solutions to improve the health of the community. And I think that's wonderful. Dr. Ward often says that what drives or what is the motivating factor for the work that we do in the community is the voice of the community. So listening to the community, what are they saying? What are the needs of the community? And that's how we discover what we need to address and how we need to come to the aid and the assistance of persons in the community to improve health.
And you know, one thing I love about Dr. Ward is she's also a Black woman that believes in community.
Sure.
She has one of those really, strong positions in our institution that she has a voice and they listen to her and she makes sure that. And she also represents the community well. And so I'm always excited about the work that she's doing. And, when we brought you all on today, I wanted the community to hear more about what are you doing? What can people or individuals and listeners know to make a difference in their lives and what resources are free? So I wanted to thank you both for coming today.
Thank you
And
for
it's
having
been a
us.
pleasure. And is there a number that people have questions about? I want you to give it out to them again about all the different things that we just talked about.
Sure. You can call Exie anytime.
All right. And Exie, what is that number?
Yes. My direct phone number is 414-955-4872. And also, please visit our website at ctsi.mcw.edu.
Thank you. And, please take a note of it. You're going to start seeing in the community. I know also we mentioned one church, but there's another too that you all are going to be doing some work with, and that's Greater Galilee. Am I correct on that? Can you just briefly speak about that? And then we're going to take a break and we'll come back.
Sure. It's forthcoming. I think that there are details are still underway, but we're excited about expanding in the community. And soon there'll be another CCU that will be providing screenings and prevention care for people in the underserved areas of Milwaukee.
And you mentioned CCU, that's Community Care Unit.
Correct.
And so we're excited and we're looking forward to that. And so I want to thank you all for coming today.
Thank you for having
All
us.
right. All right. Deb, we have a couple things that we wanted to talk about, some things that are going on. And can you just kind of elaborate a little bit about what's been happening in the community? For people that have been driving down Martin Luther King Drive and you might have seen Thrive On. I mean, you're like, what is that? Well, you remember the old Schuster Gimbel building? You all, if we want to go way back in time, that building is going to be, it's called Thrive On. And it's an initiative that the Medical College of Wisconsin has been doing. It's going to be opening up probably in the next month or so. Am I correct on that, Dale?
Yes.
Okay. Can you elaborate and tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, Thrive On building. I'm really excited. Our offices will be moving there. I got to see it this week. It's gorgeous.
Without me? I thought we were
sorry,
supposed to do this
were.
together.
I didn't say that. Yeah, they snuck me in real quick between meetings. But yeah, Thrive On building is on King Drive, and you've seen a lot of construction. And the beauty of it, we've had as my colleagues from CTSI were speaking. We did the same thing with Thrive On. It is a collaborative endeavor between Greater Milwaukee Foundation, Royal Capital, and the Medical College of Wisconsin. And I'm excited about it because we did tea times through around the community in those neighborhoods where we had opportunity for individuals from the community to do visioning sessions. So they told us what they wanted to see in the building, how they wanted pieces of the building to be reflective of the community. And so there's been a lot of effort to get local artwork on that first floor. And the first floor is the community floor. And I tell people all the time, I have an office on the second floor, but if you really want to find me, I'm always going to be on the first floor because that's where the community will be. But there is a meeting rooms that are on the first floor. There's a stage that's built out. And it's just really exciting. We are planning on working with all of our partners to do education, to have monthly or weekly education sessions that will be offered there. But that's the building. And so some offices from the Medical College of Wisconsin that are moving up there, Office of Community Engagement for the Medical College as a whole is moving there. The Center for AIDS Intervention Research, CAPS, which acronym I cannot remember right now, so I'm so sorry. But there's several offices that are moving there, and then the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, they've already moved in this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're up there
What floor are
on
they
they're
on?
on the 4th floor.
Okay, yeah, because
Yep.
that building, so that's
Yeah.
I remember that building, and we used to go shopping there when we
Mhm.
were growing up, and it was very kind of intimidating because it was almost like
It's
it wasn't. It
huge.
was huge when you
Yes.
were small and little, and
Mhm.
those escalators and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the escalators aren't there, but that staircase.
It's there.
The
Okay.
staircase is there, and it is. And the thing is that like the picture windows in the front, they are maintaining those. There's wood in the building on the 1st floor that is still it's being up. It's not being updated, but it's being cleaned and fixed up, and it is beautiful. It is so beautiful, and Royal Capital has been very deliberate, or all the partners have been very deliberate about maintaining the authenticity of the building and still to make it welcoming for the community. So we have a community advisory board that is part of the Thrive On project. I'm so proud that I got to work for them, I will say, in helping their dream come true with this. So shout out to the Thrive On Community Advisory Board. Shout out to Sydney Key, who is the executive director over there. She is doing a phenomenal job of pulling together really good partners. Also on the 1st floor, so you have to stop me because I get
No,
excited. On the first floor,
please. I want to hear this. Yes.
on the 1st floor, we have partners. Maleka's Early Learning Center is going to be on the 1st floor. Also, Versity is going to be on the 1st floor. JobWorks is there also. So our 1st floor tenants will be moving in later on in the year, but all of the medical college should be in the building. I believe by the middle end of May, we should all be there. But yeah, Greater Milwaukee Foundation got in first, and then Center for AIDS Intervention Research is moving in next week. But it's exciting. It is
It
truly
really
exciting.
is, because we're able to utilize that building in the community at
Yeah.
a higher capacity.
Yes.
But there's also the inclusion of having community. And you mentioned as far as the 1st floor, because it's going to be encouraged for the community to come and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
do meetings and things like
Yes,
that there. Can you talk
please.
about that?
Yeah. So our building right now, there are some limitations because we are staffing up. So the building's only open from 6 to 6 during the week when it does officially open. And I will make sure that you get information about the grand opening because that will come later in the fall. But community members are encouraged to, when we get to the position where we can start holding meetings there on the 1st floor specifically, we definitely want the community to come in. This is their building, and the artwork. The artwork is incredible. It's all local artists.
Wow.
It's all local artists. And I
Can't wait to
do,
see it.
yeah, that team, Darlene and the rest of the team from Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and they have done an incredible job to cultivate some incredible artists. And they've done a really great job. They've done an incredible job.
This project has been going on, I think, isn't it about the 4th year or
It
something,
is
trying
the
to get
4th
this
year.
going?
Yeah.
And
So,
so I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And I'm also excited that they're going to allow for sometimes the All of Us research program to come in and do what we do as well. So we're
yes.
excited about the work that's going to take place in this building, but it's going to be right in the locations that's very accessible
Yeah.
to our community.
Yeah.
And they encourage, different types of gatherings to be there as well.
Yeah, so even we're across the street, and so an example of kind of what will happen there this Monday. There's another project that's going on through the Cancer Center, understanding prostate cancer disparities. It's been going on for a while, funding through the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, to be able to gather. We've been able to gather some men together for a period of time to understand why there are disparities in prostate cancer. And so now they are ready to launch their community conversations on prostate health events. And these are events where people that come and the community's welcome. The first one that we're having will be let me see, make sure. No, not at G's. The first one is called Masculine Mondays. It's happening on April 8th. Spouses are welcome. This is going to be happening at the City Center, 7035 North Water Street on the 7th floor, and that's from 5 to 7. There's another one, and people may be familiar. G has this Real Men, Real Talk at G's Clippers. So we'll be doing that one on April 15th. And we are so pleased. Quabana Nixon will be hosting that one. But what we're looking for is for opportunities for the community to come to these events and for the community to give us input and feedback on the work that's been done, the discussions we've had with other men, including clinicians, community members, prostate cancer survivors. But we want the community to come in now and see what the discussion's been about and then give us additional information. So yeah, those are, if there's any questions, you can read Alexis, call Alexis. Her number is 414-955-5851. And this is an example. When we get the building open for Thrive On, it's communication and conversations like that we want to have in the building.
Thanks, Deb. This is very, important information. Because I've been seeing that building for a while and people have been asking me when we drive down on Martha King Drive. And it's great to see that we're going to have such a wonderful resource that's going to be made for the community as well. It's almost getting time to close. But before we do that, I want to bring on Dr. Zeno Franco. He is the co-PI for the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin. He is also a clinical psychologist. And good morning to you, Dr. Franco.
Good morning, Karen. Good to be with you.
April is National Stress Awareness Month. And, one thing that we talked about earlier, Dr. Franco, is that when Dr. Izzard was on the line related to diabetes and how stress and everything plays a part of that. So I was just wanting to hear from you as far as, as it relates to the All of Us Research Program and some of the stress that kind of goes into our everyday lives. If you can elaborate a little bit about how people can really respond better to that and how research plays a significant role in that as well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Karen. I think, I'm helping people with stress and anxiety every day as part of just being a psychologist. And I think, sometimes people feel like something's wrong with them or, they don't really know how to control it. There's some basics to help out. But one of the things that we're also learning is that just our genetics can control some of that variability in how people respond to stress. So some people are more predisposed to be anxious or stressed by things that happen normally in life. And I think that actually helps reduce stigma around some of the mental health problems that, everybody faces in their life. Different people have it to different degrees, and some of that's based on genetics.
So when you say some of that's based on genetics, can you elaborate a little bit more about that, Dr. Franco?
Yeah, so, I think what we're finding is that it's a combination of how people are raised, what they're exposed to in terms of, day-to-day stress levels in the workplace, at home. And also there's a lot of different mental health issues that have some genetic component. And for stress, I think, the basics are really important for people. Remembering to do some deep breathing. There's what we call progressive muscle relaxation, which is basically just kind of scrunching up the muscles throughout your body. Taking a few minutes off, it's tough. People are parents. They're trying to get through the workday. There's a lot going on, but just trying to take care of the basics. But also thinking about, maybe there's somebody in your family who's particularly anxious. A blood relative. It might be that you also have some genetic component of a higher anxiety or stress response profile. And we're finding that is the case with a number of different mental health problems, that there is some genetic component for some people, not for everybody, but for some people.
I was just looking also when you talk about some of the stressors that happen in our everyday lives, and we start looking at the quality of sleep. And why is sleep so important to us? And, not getting enough of that, what does that really do to our bodies?
Yeah, sleep is such a critical, point of health across the board, and we've learned over time that when the body is resting and the mind is asleep, the immune system has a chance to reset. The body's actually repairing itself. The mind has a chance to kind of process information from the day, and that's a lot of what we're dreaming about at night. If we don't get time for really restful sleep, if we don't dream, the body starts to break down and doesn't have that chance to reset. And so, there's all types of problems with sleep. Some of it's anxiety and stress. I suffer from sleep apnea. I have to have a breathing machine every night. If I don't have the mask exactly right and there's a leak, it's tough to sleep. I mean, I'm just saying these are real problems for people. And so trying to set a schedule to go to bed, trying to have some calm before going to sleep, not having the television on. Those are some basics, right? What we call sleep hygiene. But we know that if people don't sleep well, their health outcomes are worse.
And, one thing that you mentioned is that, because I also have a friend that has to use that mask, and that's just, sometimes I think they feel like it's torture, especially for her husband, when they have to stay in there and hear all that noise going on.
Yep.
But, and also, I heard sometimes it gets cold because it has a fan. And so, there's a lot of things that kind of go on with that. But, for people that really need that encouragement, what do you tell people that, the importance of that?
There's just some adjustments that you have to make. And, we talk about sleep divorce with the married couples. It's a real thing. I can tell you personally, there's moments when I just abandon ship because I don't want to disturb my wife. That's life, right? And so we do our best and, we adjust around it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. But, Dr. Franco, we're going to definitely have to have you back on because you have a wealth of knowledge related to mental health and the different types of wellness that we need to consider through this process, and also how it's interrelated to the All of Us research program. So I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We will definitely have you back on the air. It's just about time for us to wrap up. This is Karen Dotson.
Always a pleasure, Karen. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Franco. This is Karen Dotson from the All of Us research program. I have Deb Nevels here from the Cancer Prevention as well. We want to thank you all for listening. And if there are topics that you want to know about, you can always call our office at 414-955-2689. That's 414-955-2689. And we can make sure that we bring on those individuals that will be able to give you more insight and more information. Once again, thank you for sitting at the table with us. It's been a pleasure. And I just want to say that I look forward to seeing and talking to people. And I know that you can also see us on Facebook next month, second Friday of the month from 7 to 9. Be blessed.